Hello and welcome to Read the Last Page,
A book club
YAP session.
with your two favorite long-distance best friends. Hi, B. How are you?
I'm good today. My allergies have been really bad, but they're better, even though my voice probably sounds kind of congested, which I guess it is, but way better than it has been the past couple days. But how are you, Dan?
I'm okay. I was gonna ask you, is that why you were sick this week? Were you sick with something else, or was it just allergies?
Okay, so I think when my allergies are bad, then it makes me more susceptible to just getting normal sick. And I'm in a show right now, and last week was tech week, and then we had 3 shows this weekend. And so then after the shows were done and I was running on not zero sleep, but very, very little sleep. And so when I finally got to sleep for a prolonged amount of time, 9 hours, on Sunday night, when I woke up on Monday, I just felt so sick. I think that my body was just oh, we have the time to heal. Okay, then we're gonna feel everything right now.
Yeah, that's so real.
Yeah, I think it was overexertion, working too much and not enough sleep and allergies, all together.
Yeah.
But it was so weird because I felt, you know how sometimes when you get sick and your body feels achy?
Yeah.
It was like that. So I was like, huh?
Oh,
But
my God.
anyways, I feel way better now, but
Good.
yeah.
Well.
Do you have allergies? I always forget. To spring?
So, I think one thing about me is I'm always oh, I don't have allergies, and then every spring I get, a little tiny bit sick for the whole spring.
Yeah.
And I'm but that's not allergies. That's just a stuffy nose. It's fine. So, it's it's a working theory that I think I could have allergies, just because also, so, you know that I have an Owala water bottle, correct?
Slay.
I got
Of
one because you
course.
had one, of course. Mine's not even here, but so it had been maybe a week, a tad too long without washing it, and
Classic.
my throat started getting. Sorry if this is gross to anyone, I don't really care. My throat started getting I would wake up and I'd be she's not feeling too hot. That's weird. And then I was well, maybe I just need to wash my water bottle. And so I convinced myself for the whole week that it was my water bottle. But then after I washed my water bottle, my throat was still. And so I was I think this is allergies, actually.
It's bigger than that. That's so funny. I also feel that way sometimes if I'm having a headache for several days in a row. I'm maybe my water bottle is too dirty, but then it's I wash it and it doesn't make a difference. I mean, it makes a difference that it's clean, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is our first episode.
I love how we're talking about
Should we?
sicknesses. And we're oh, by the way, this is our
We're
first
sick.
episode. Yeah.
Should we tell the people what we're doing?
Yeah, I think that's the way to start these things.
Okay. You or me? Who wants to start?
You can start, and then
Okay.
I'll be the yes man.
Okay, so 4 months ago, I moved to New York. Oh my gosh, sorry, my cord is being so loud. From the Midwest, from KC and well, basically, I love talking to my best friend Danielle, and we've been voice memo girlies for years now.
Oh yeah.
Because we've technically have been long distance best friends for a while, but only isn't it only 2 hours to drive?
Yeah. I'm not it's baby distance.
Medium distance.
Yeah, exactly.
So to compensate for not being able to see each other in person all the time, and we just don't always have the time to text all the time. Whenever we had free time, we would send 30-minute voice memos.
Insane.
Really insane behavior. Whenever I see people tweet oh my gosh, me and my bestie send such long things, and it's 8 minutes, I'm
oh my God,
you would not last a minute.
You would not last an hour in the asylum where there is.
Yeah, wait, are you wearing your cardigan?
I am.
Oh my gosh, cute.
And get this, I'm also wearing the Taylor Swift Ivy, or
from Sage.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, amazing.
From your boys.
Love. He just got he just got like a Tortured Poets Department t-shirt. It's super
Ooh.
cute. But yeah, so I usually would do those voice memos when I was driving, but the problem is I don't drive here, obviously. I mean, I don't know if that's obvious, but like I don't have a car. So it's been harder to keep up, I guess. And so we just like have always just thought maybe the masses should hear what we're chit-chatting about.
It's like, truly, I think what we need is to have like a scheduled time, probably about an hour or two a week, for us to sit down and just talk about whatever. And
Yeah.
what I love about us is we're like, and how should we make sure that everyone gets to hear it though?
Right,
How do
because
we let
like
the people know?
if there's one thing about us, like we were destined to be like famous Disney Channel besties or something.
Oh, the people don't even know the lore behind the
But
Disney
like it
Channel
hasn't
besties.
happened, so like we're making it happen for
So
ourselves.
true. By the way, also, just to give context to just how insane we've been for the duration of our friendship. When we were like 15, I sat down and wrote like a pilot script for like me and you, our own TV show for Disney Channel.
I forgot about that.
And I was like, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get discovered. We were like delusional in the best way possible. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely wanted
Like
that to be our life.
it's like so innocent and precious.
I know. It's sweet. It's really sweet.
Like, here's another bit of our lore of our friendship is we were obsessed with Teen Beach Movie, and
Oh, yes.
we had this notebook, this Teen Beach Movie notebook, and when we were freshmen in high school, and we would like pass notes, like you pass notes in high school, right? But we would just write them in a notebook and then like pass the notebook. And I just remember like this girl who was like a popular girl, you know, you're a freshman, and she was like, "Is that your diary?" And I was like, "No, it's like me and my best friend, like we write notes to each other." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's actually really cool. Like I wish me and my friends did stuff like that." And I was just like, "Yeah, you know what? I do have the best friend."
Oh, that's so cute. No, also though, to give further context to who we both were as people, and I think it still stands. Laura would be like willy-nilly writing that like all throughout the halls
And no shame.
of our high school. No shame. And meanwhile, me, I would like take it out of my backpack so fast and flip it open and be like, no one can see. I don't know why. Like, no one cares. No one cared. But like for me, 15-year-old me, I was like, they're all gonna know that I like Teen Beach Movie as a freshman in high school.
Meanwhile, I did the dance from the movie for the girl in my gym class. So
And
yeah.
it still haunts you, but like I
It
would have
does.
found it really endearing.
I think later she probably like went and laughed about it with her friends, but in the moment she seemed very kind about it. So the other part of our YouTube podcast channel, whatever you want to call it, is we want to have a book club because we've done book club in the past, and so we're planning to like read a book together once a month, and we'll like make an episode about the book where we just like talk about everything, and then hopefully an episode a month that's just like us having like our voice memo session, but face to face. Because sometimes on voice memos it's hard when like you talk for 30 minutes and then you're like I wish I would have had a conversation, you know, like back and forth, you know.
100%. No, and that's exactly how we had 30-minute voice messages, is because we're both yappers when given something to yap about, and so we would just go on and on and on and on. And so it's so much better to be like having a fluid conversation with somebody. Getting feedback immediately, that's the best.
Because a lot of times, the 30 minutes probably could have been 10 if someone would have been keeping us on course. Like,
that is so true.
Do you want to tell like why we chose the name for our podcast?
Yeah. Okay.
/ YouTube channel.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, just because we've already mentioned her once in this episode. This is going to be a theme. We're kind of Taylor Swift fans. Sorry if that offends anybody, but like that's just who we are. Like, we're not gonna apologize for it. And so anyway, we personally both really love the song New Year's Day, closer for the Reputation album. We've always kind of found it to be like relatable to our friendship, which is so sweet to me. I just think that's such a pure song. But if you know the song, you know that there's a lyric in it that says, don't read the last page. In context with the song, it's a very sweet lyric. We decided to take it out of context with the song and just also take out the don't. And so it's kind of like a reference to just like that song and kind of who we are as far as our friendship goes. So yeah.
Yeah. And when we read the books together and like we have the episodes about the book, it'll be after we've read the book, after we've read the last page. So yeah.
You know what? This is also, I think, really good for me because, as you know, I'm a chronic read multiple books at one time and also don't finish multiple books that I'm reading. Like, that's who I am as a person. So this is going to be very nice for me because it's like, oh yeah, girl, you have to read that book. And it's like so true. Stick to it. But yeah.
Which, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's read the last page, not read the last page. For anybody.
Oh, yeah,
curious.
That's a good distinction. Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that. I was just going to say that's something that's so interesting, that's so different about us because I rarely read more than one book at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm reading a book, I just want to be reading that book. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to read more than one at a time. If I was having, like, one like thicker, like a bigger book, like think like Harry Potter, it's like something big and it's like a whole series, and then I might just I'm kind of like sick of it for a little bit or need a break while I'm reading it, and I'll like read something else within it. But like this year, like I feel like I've read like almost 10 books already, which is like huge for me, like based on my past few years. And yeah, it's always just been one at a time. But
yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely, it has to do with my attention span. Like, I never know what I want. And I mean, I'm also somebody who I love a good literary fiction book. Like, that's probably my favorite genre. But one thing about literary fiction is like it's kind of hard to keep your interest the whole time, at least for me, just because like it's like, okay, are they gonna go on like a quest soon, or like is there gonna be a cute little romance? Like, I don't know, sometimes no. So it's like I feel like if I have books in different genres, I'm always reading. And you know,
that makes sense.
It's like that quote that Taylor Swift says that she actually doesn't really say, but she definitely stole it from somebody. But it's like, if you are always ready, you don't have to stay ready.
Oh, yeah.
Like so that's how I feel about reading. It's like
they teach that in church too.
Oh, me. I forgot that in but yeah, so if you always have a book you're reading, then you're never in a book slump, is what I like to say. But I'm always in a book slump, actually. So I don't know if that works. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like I am motivated a lot of times by like a final product. Like, so for me, it's like I don't want to start another book until I finish the one I'm on, because it's like in my brain, it's like having too many tabs open, and like I need to complete what I'm doing first.
Yeah.
I'm like motivated to finish it just by nature of wanting it to be finished.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does that make sense at all?
Yes. What's crazy is I agree. It's like that. I think that's how my brain also works. But I ignore all of that. And that's how I get into book slumps, is because I crave the satisfaction of reading a book, but I can't get that because I'm like 120 pages into all 5 books I'm reading.
Oh, yeah.
And then I get really overwhelmed and I'm like, I don't like anything. And then, yeah, it's like, it would probably be best if I just had a single task to work on.
Yeah, interesting.
But, you know, I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to stop, so.
So, since we're talking about books, I
Yeah.
thought I might just talk about a little bit about my life in New York. So, I have a job as a host at a restaurant.
Hmm.
Super easy job. And the restaurant, like, gets busy, like, a little bit during lunchtime, like, for an hour or two.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of, like, downtime. And so that's when I read my little book and I it's just like my roommate that one of my besties, my roommate that works there with me, she always says like she's always just trying to be everyone's baby girl there, like I like baby girl, like la la la. And that's how I feel like when I'm reading my book. I'm like, look at me, like reading my book at work. And someone like some man when he was leaving was like, "Oh, are you studying?" Because I'm sure I look college age to most people. And this is I was reading Six of Crows, which, by the way, if you want to read Six of Crows, that's the book we'll be talking about.
Yes, great plug. Great plug.
Yes, by Lee Bardugo.
Yes.
And I was like, I said like no, ha ha ha, but like really like I was studying. You know what I mean? Like
You
that
were
book.
reading the text. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but anyways, my manager actually at work, I haven't told you this, Danielle, just like put in his 2 weeks.
Oh.
So not this Saturday, but next Saturday is his last day. And it's like I just got to the point where like because when I first started that job, he kind of intimidated me. I mean, he's my manager. Like,
Yeah.
he's like a grown man and, you just want to do well. And I feel like I finally got to the place where I'm like comfortable with him and like we can like kind of like jive and vibe. Like
Hmm.
I feel chill and relaxed. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to get another one. Like, what if he's like, or she, like what if they're not good? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I'm not looking forward to the change because I feel like I just got to the point in my move here where I'm like, I'm settled into my apartment, I'm settled into my job, and now like it's gonna change again.
Hmm.
And I did dance intensive last summer where I was an RA with my friend at a dance company that she's in. And I'm actually getting to go do it again this summer. I don't think I've told you that.
No,
I'm
that's
super
exciting.
excited. Yeah, because I get paid money to take dance class, which is amazing. But it's 3 weeks. So, like, I obviously had to tell my manager, and I told him, like, a few days ago. I, like, worked up the courage. I was, like, texting my dad, like, what do I say? And it's like, now I feel so goofy. Like,
He's like, I'm not even gonna be here.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, but I mean, like it's fine because he said he's gonna let the owner know who will kind of be in
Oh.
charge until we get a new manager. Like, I'm gonna explain everything, and like I think he's gonna pull for me to like, you know, that it's fine and everything,
Hmm.
but it's just like I was getting so worked up, and for what? Like,
That's so real of everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, anything exciting at your job? Or new or
Um,
different or
I mean, my boss went to Vegas for a work conference and got me
oh.
a poker chip.
Okay.
I know, right? I was like, okay, thank you. Like a little
Okay.
souvenir.
Was
Yeah.
it like did he play with it like on a table?
No, I think it's like a magnet thing, so it looks like a real poker chip. I
Oh.
don't know if it is or not, but it's like it's a poker chip magnet in a way. And so yeah,
Nice.
I know. I was like, that's so kind. I don't even remember to get like my friends things when I go places.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just so nice for a boss to be like, "Oh, hey, I got you this."
Yeah, that is kind
Thank
of sweet. He
you.
was thinking of you.
Thank you. Yeah. But nothing too crazy has been happening at my work, but we should probably also talk about how I also have a job that that is it allows me to read books on the job too. So that's why I think me and you get a lot of reading done. Is
Yeah.
because our jobs let us do that. I feel like I see a lot of discourse online toward like the end of the year when everybody starts to post their like um reading how many books I read in a year
Yeah.
or whatever. And if it's over like the 100 mark, people get really upset because they're like think they're showing off or whatever. I don't know. Some people maybe, some
Uh-huh.
people probably aren't. But it's like I feel like I would not. I'd be reading like 20 books a year if I did not have time at my job to read. So
Yeah.
it's like truly, and 20 books a year is like a lot of books too. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it's just
I mean,
like,
that's almost two a month,
yeah. Oh, that's so true when you really
which,
break it
like,
down.
that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So
A
there you
book
go.
every 2 weeks. I mean, yeah.
If you finish a book a year, that's a success.
Yeah.
'Cause
Which is, like,
you
what
read.
I was rocking with the past couple of years. Like, I think I only read, like, 3 books last year or something,
Mhm.
but low-key I wasn't in a very good place. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
But,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I remember I was looking at my stats on one of my um I think it was Storygraph, which if people know what Storygraph is, it's like a book tracking site. But I was looking at my stats from like 2020 and I saw that I read 21 books in March of 2020 when the world shut down.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that's a girl who's literally escaping.
That's crazy. Were you physically reading those?
Yeah.
Did you didn't even do audiobooks on any
I
of those?
know.
Wow.
I
That's
know.
like major commitment because it's like when you're listening to an audiobook, like you could have been like going on a walk or
Yeah.
like doing
No,
something else.
I just remember we were locked in starting March 12th, and I was like, I didn't even leave. I think I left to go to the grocery store like twice, but other than that, I was not leaving my apartment, and so I was like, what do I do? And the only thing I
That
could do was read.
that's
That's
so
all I
crazy.
did.
I was
It was
doing math
great.
homework and
Yeah,
like doing ballet in my bedroom like
that's crazy. Well, also I was an English major, so like I was reading
Yeah,
books for class too.
that makes sense. That makes
Like,
sense.
yeah. But
Um
crazy.
okay, so you were talking about a souvenir from your boss or your manager or whatever,
Oh, uh-huh.
and you were saying um like I don't even remember all the time to like get like my friends a souvenir. When we were younger and I was like first in like your friend group that we had in like 5th and 6th grade, you know?
This
And
is
I
so
feel like
silly. Yeah.
like it was kind of like a group and then like I was kind of on the outer circle of the group and I was like slowly like becoming part of the group. I remember like a couple times like some of our other friends like you guys would like get each other souvenirs from like when you went places, but like I like not me, but it's like I wasn't really quite in the friend group yet, but I remember the first time you like went somewhere. I'm sure it was somewhere on the East Coast, like where your family's from, and
Yeah, it's
like
probably Cape Cod.
yeah, and like you brought back everyone like a jar of sand,
Hmm.
and like that was the first time that like anyone in that group had like included me on like the souvenirs, and I was like so like it literally made my life like I was so happy, and I was like I'm in like I'm in.
That makes me kind of sad for some. Like, I'm like, oh my god, my poor girl. Like,
No,
she
no,
didn't
it's
even
okay. It's
know
okay.
that she was gonna be number one day. Like, that's
True.
crazy.
If only we had known then. But yeah,
True.
I remember that. I'm pretty sure I still have it in my room because I just
Mhm.
like I remember that so uh so fondly. I was like,
That's so cute.
yeah, it like made me feel so good, you know.
That's so cute. That's truly probably was one of the last times that I actually bought somebody a souvenir. Because when I tell you I forget, I forget every time.
Yeah. And it's hard like what do people actually want? And like like
So true.
you don't
So
want to
true.
just spend money on something that like they're going to be like, "Okay." You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, truly.
But that jar of sand
She loves
is
it.
is good. Is
Should
good.
we like go back and like kind of explain what our friendship is or how long we've at least been friends for?
Okay, yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
if it's your first time listening, you might not know. We're gonna say it all the time, but the lore of our friendship. But yeah, so you just mentioned 5th and 6th grade. So I moved to Missouri from Massachusetts when I was 10, going into 5th grade. And for that whole year, I don't think we talked to each other one time. So,
No, probably not.
so we knew of each other, but we didn't talk or become close until 6th grade. And then we were in like that little, like, you know when you're in 6th grade and you just like you somehow get in friend groups.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know how the heck we got into a friend group together, but we just did. And so yeah, so really like our origin story starts in 6th grade when we were both like 12. Which is really
And you
sweet.
dated the boy. Oh, I should.
Oh.
Wait, I just realized that, like, even if we leave names out of this,
People
like,
are gonna know.
if someone that we went to elementary school, like,
is
listen
so
to this,
red.
like, they could know.
Not even elementary school, but like high school. I went to college.
I was just gonna
with this
say,
guy,
like,
so.
like we were like, so we were like in the same friend group, but it was more like you were best friends with some of the girls, and I was best friends with a couple of them, and like I feel like we weren't. It was like friends of friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't have like our own friendship for a while,
No.
but anyways, I just remember you dated the boy that I had the biggest crush on, and I was like,
Girl, me when I dated and it lasted 3 days and he broke up with me because I didn't say a word to him, and that's so real. That will follow me.
Oh, to be 12.
Oh, to be 12. Yeah, but no, but so like we were friends in the way in which I would never dream of inviting you over to my house by yourself, because I was like, what would we talk about? Like, are we there? Whatever. So we'll eventually go through middle school without really hanging out one-on-one outside of lunch and like music
Which is
class.
crazy. Yeah.
I know. Sorry, Akila keeps
Oh
FaceTiming me.
yeah, we were in music class together, and we were like, well, I guess we should sit by each other, and
Yeah,
like, be
yeah,
besties.
literally. And so I think that's like where it all like, so we started to run with the friendship.
Yeah.
And then like the summer of before 9th grade, maybe it was the first few weeks of 9th grade, we had our first sleepover, and like to me that's when everything fell into place. Because what we did, readers,
Listeners.
we watched a Teen Beach movie. I think we watched a Teen Beach movie dance along,
Probably.
which love. And then I think it was either in the same sleepover or the next sleepover, we did the same thing, but like with Lemonade Mouth.
Yes.
So we bonded so fast over like Disney Channel because no one else was watching it but us, and we
Right.
were obsessed. So yeah, so we learned the dance to Teen Beach Movie, and we have a video on our phone of us doing it.
Oh my gosh, I look so crazy.
It's my favorite thing. I love to watch it because we're like just hyper little 14-year-olds.
I think that if we get 1 million subscribers, we can show the people.
The video of like my shorts being hiked up my legs, looking crazy.
And I had like a messy bun on the side of my head. Like, what is that?
It's iconic. That's what it is. But yeah, and then like from there, I really do think it's just like besties for life, and we knew it. And we knew it.
Yeah, which is so, yeah.
Yeah, so
It's crazy because also, I feel like as we got into high school, like, so we like went to like the school dances in the same friend group, like,
yeah,
our freshman year, but after our freshman year, we had some friendship issues, and that friend group wasn't necessarily like as strong of a group anymore. We were still friends with some of the same people, but like, I just remember like later in high school, it would be like we would both be going to like the homecoming dance, but we'd be going with 2 different groups because it's like I had a group from something else and you had a group from something else, but like they weren't in the same group together.
No,
and
yeah.
you and I didn't have enough friends like
to have a full group.
and mutual with just us. So we
Yeah.
would just always be like, well, I guess I'll see you there. And I always just was like, I was like, ugh, I just like, I want to be going with Danielle. Like, I want to be in Danielle's group.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I wasn't necessarily friends with like the friends in your classes, and you weren't necessarily like close with the friends in mine or whatever. And I just like, that is just like so funny to me.
It's so silly because we truly were like, I think people who knew us, if you've ever seen the movie Booksmart, this I feel like is a very good like way to look at what we were like in high school. But I feel like everyone kind of knew you, and people mostly knew me for being your best friend. And so, which is so slay. I have like like I think that's hilarious. But But yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's so interesting that we definitely were known for being the besties. And then we're like, oh, but I'll see you at prom.
Yeah,
We're not going to
yeah.
go together. Well, did we go? We didn't go the
We
first year
did
together.
go. Yeah,
No,
we did
second
go to
year.
prom senior year together.
Yeah, we didn't go junior, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, which is just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Crazy.
like, who do I want at my sleepover after the dance? Like Danielle.
True.
Which, by the way, to anybody that I went to prom with or school dance with, I had an amazing time with you, and I had so much fun, and I loved it. There's no shade to anybody else. Like, I had other really good friends too, but
yeah.
yeah.
This is just Danielle and Laura corner right now. We're talking.
Yeah.
Dan and B are talking.
Dan and B. Yeah, you got that. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so, and now we're like a few years out of college and we're still besties. Every year I'm always like, how long have we technically been friends for? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where it would start, but I do think we were talking about this the other day, but like 2013, 2014, I think is like the real origins of the friendship.
So like 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years of friendship.
Which
And
like
oh,
I was just gonna say, like, if you count like when we met and started like friend group, like age 12ish, like that's like half our lives. That's like over wait. Yeah.
that is half our lives.
Almost over half our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly. But what I love about having adult friendships, which is so silly to say because everything about mine and your friendship feels so like forever 16.
Feels so high school.
True. But I feel like we reached an age where, do you remember during when we were like 17, 18, 19, we were like, let's be friends forever. Let's be friends forever. Like, let's make sure nothing ever breaks us up.
Yeah.
And then we reached an age where we never ever think that. We're just like, oh, that's just my, like, we're going to be friends for life. And then
Right.
it's like we've reached almost a second stage of friendship where I'm just like, I feel like no matter what we do, even though you're like so many miles away from me, I don't even know how far away you are, but
I don't know.
like 1,500 miles or something. But like, I'm just like, oh yeah, like I feel like we get closer anyway.
Right.
You know? Which is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and cause yeah, definitely like when we were going to college, I did have like a fear.
Yeah.
Just because everyone talks about, but they don't know about best friends like us.
They don't know. They don't know what happened. Like, well, first of all, to me, I'm like, obviously, the way to keep a friendship is you drop out your second semester and then you go to your best friend's house and you sleep over at her house every single weekend until her family's like, is Danny gonna come? Or like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then from there, then you're like, okay, so we're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
Because you've seen me at my worst.
No, literally. Literally. Well, and because when I was younger, I had a friend that I thought we were going to be best friends forever, and we had similar conversations like, even when other friendships like fall apart, like we'll stay best friends like forever into our 20s, and it didn't happen. And so then like when we were like nearing kind of the brink of when a lot of friendships like fizzle out just because of like going to college and distance and whatever, yeah, I was super nervous because like it had happened before, you know?
Yeah. Isn't that so crazy that when you are young, you just base everything off of like the one other experience you have of this?
Yeah.
And so it's like the
literally.
reason why you didn't have faith in a like Dan and B friendship was because Dan and B hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. And it's like, it's so sad that nobody else gets to have my best friend because she's the best. So.
Yeah, it's so cute. We do talk. I love talking about the fact that in my head we're like so in love to the point where I feel like I genuinely think this all the time. I'm like, I'm so in love with Laura, I need to propose to her, and I'm like, how do I do that in a friendship way? How can I do that platonically?
Yeah.
And get married and have all the benefits of marriage, but as platonic besties for life.
Yeah. No, literally. Well, we do have our that Saturn necklace you gave me.
Oh, yeah.
Which I okay, this is gonna sound confusing, but I wore it in our Six of Crows episode.
And I didn't even
Which
notice.
to the listeners, we already filmed the Season of Rose episode.
Yeah.
Just, it's coming out later. But,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. No, for real. And it's like, this is also something about us. Like, it's so funny. All of our other friends, like our roommates and other people we hang out with, like, we always are referring to each other as like, oh, my best friend Laura, oh, my best friend Danielle. And they're always like, yeah, we know.
We get it. Actually, I had a really long conversation the other day with my friend Kara. Kara drop. Hi, Kara. But like,
First name drop of the...
I know, of the whole series, which is, it's just episode 1. So, but anyway, so my friend Kara and I were having a long conversation, and she was talking about some of her best friends, but instead of saying my best friend blah blah, she would say, oh, like my Laura blah blah. Like she kept
We are the
referring to
prototype.
you. I was like, Kara, every time you say that, I get so happy. I just love that you say that. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
I know.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, boyfriend drop. First
Yes.
boyfriend drop of the
Sagey.
podcast. My boyfriend Sage, when we went on our first date, I was just talking about you.
So funny.
Okay, so when Sage and I went on our first date, we considered it our first date now, but at the time, like, we were just like, oh, we go to the same college and we're both in the conservatory. Like, he was doing music, I was doing dance. We're like, we should hang out. So this was like a friendship hangout, so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I'm just talking, and of course, so I started talking about you, and he said he was like so confused because he like thought I was giving signs of like being into him, but then like he was like, I couldn't tell, like, the way you're talking about Danielle, like he like couldn't tell, like, wait, are they like what?
Are they in love? Yes. I love that. No, I love that. Also, we should mention that Sage is such a king and like genuinely the number one supporter of us being in love with each other. like we'll just be tweeting all the time like, ugh, love, like,
Miss
Laura's my
Danielle.
wife.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, is Sage ever offended? And you're like, no, he loves it. Like, he gets it.
Yeah,
King.
I know. He just thinks we're so funny.
Good.
And also, name drop Sage. He is the one that made our music that's at the beginning and end of every episode, and also like our profile picture and our header picture. So shout out to Sage. He's talented and amazing, and I love him.
Great.
And
He's great.
he's amazing.
He was such a trooper putting up with our nitpicky.
Yeah.
We were like, Sage, just a little bit lighter. A little bit lighter. Can you add like a deeper instrument in the background of this?
Yeah, we have like no idea what we're talking about. I was like, make it sound like more full, like as if I know what that means. But he did it, so
He did
that's
it.
incredible.
He's so talented for real. So yeah, so grateful for Sage.
Yes. Can I tell a funny story from the subway yesterday?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so New York subway, everybody, it's mostly chill. I have to say, it's mostly chill. It's more chill than I thought it would be. But every once in a while, something crazy goes on. So I got on the subway, and I sat down between a woman and a man, and the woman seemed really kind, and the man, whatever. I had my headphones on, which these are like noise canceling, so like I can't hear anybody talking to me. So he's sitting next to me, and like the subway seats, the train that I was on, it's like the seats are sectioned, like you can see a line. Sometimes it's more like a bench, but these ones are like seats, if that makes sense. And so I don't know if he said something to me, but I see him like waving his hands in front of my, and like crazy eyes. So I like look over at him, and he like points down. He's like like my skirt. I'm telling you, I'm like, I don't take up more than one seat on the subway, but my skirt was just like a little bit over the line onto his side, and he was like drawing the line like I'm inconveniencing him for my skirt corner touching his jeans. So I was like, okay. So I just like kind of scooped my skirt up next to me so it wasn't touching him, and whatever. And then this nice woman next to me, she was like, "Are you okay? Like, I tried to scoot over more so you can have more room." And I was like, "I'm fine. Like, thank you so much." And she was like, "It's too late in the day. Like, I'm too tired. These people." And I was like,
Me.
literally. She was so nice. And, anyways, he ended up getting off at the next stop, so whatever. So I'm like, and mind you, this guy, the seat next to him was empty. So, like, he had plenty of room. Okay, so, but I'm, like, talking to the woman, so my face is turned towards her, and she's like, "Yeah, people are crazy." And she said, "Watch out, there's another one behind you." And I was like, "What's happening now?" And this man has, like, a different guy has just laid all the way out, like, on the seats, like, just relaxing, and his head is, like, in the seat right next to me, which just, like, feels weird, because, like, it's, like, next to my legs, it's, like, and beyond his feet, there was, like, at least one more empty chair, so he could have scooted down. First of all, why are you laying down on the subway? But, like, he could have left the buffer seat between me and him, but he didn't. He had his head there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like really, like, what is going on? And then I'm telling you, this stuff does not happen that often. Like, why is two things happening to me at once? I'm like still talking to the woman, because ends up, I told her I was from the Midwest, and she's like, "Oh, my sister lives in Missouri." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm from Missouri." It was so crazy.
Oh,
but
love that.
Yeah, it was so cool. But the guy, like, pokes my arm, and I'm like, "Please," like, what? He was like, "Hey, sweetheart, like, will you let me know when we're getting to 96th Street? I think he wanted to, like, take a nap until his stop. But I was like, 96th is the next stop. Like, don't go to sleep. I didn't say that, but I was like, 96 is the next stop. And he's like, "Okay, like, thanks so much." Like, la, la. I'm like,
God.
"Don't touch me." Like, don't. What? It was just, like, so crazy. But the saving grace was the woman next to me was being so funny about it, and, like, just like, "Oh my gosh, these crazy people." And she said that the first guy, she had been sitting there first, and the first guy, like, sat down and was, like, saying she was taking up too much room. And she was like, she told me that she told him, like, "Okay, well, I was sitting here first, do you want to sit on my lap?"
Queen, oh my God.
And then she said that he was like, "You're not my type." Like, what?
Oh my God, the audacity of men. Don't even. One thing that I love about, sorry, not to generalize, men are great, sure. But like, one thing that is so silly about so many encounters I have like this with dudes is I feel like men don't understand how much space they take up, or like they hate when their time is wasted. I notice at least more than women tend to, and it's just so interesting to me, and it drives me bonkers. But I love that woman was so kind to you.
Yeah, no,
because I would have cried, probably.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, subway times. It's just like, what was that guy gonna do if it was a full subway? Is he gonna get mad at everybody for, like, coming within an inch of him? Like, you better just get a car at that point. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
You know what? Well, let me swap you now with a crazy story that happened to me the other day at work.
Okay.
So where I work, I won't disclose, but like I work in a basement area with like a lot of windows right next to my desk. And so from the outside, it looks like the windows are blacked out kind of in a way, but like I can definitely see out of them. So
oh boy.
The other day there was somebody who came up to my window right next to me, looked around a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, he's not gonna do what I think he's gonna do." And he starts peeing my window. Right on my window.
You should have went and, like, knocked on it.
I almost did, but I really didn't want to make eye contact.
Yeah, no.
But like,
I was
like,
that's crazy.
I was like, the audacity is insane. Also, who goes up to a bunch of like shiny windows,
yeah.
And like, even if you can't see into them, what makes you think they're just there for decoration?
Right.
It's crazy. Anyway.
That's so crazy.
I was so, like,
awkward too. Like,
I know. I was kind of scarred. I was like, really, like, what do I do? That's insane.
Like, what can you do? Nothing.
No, it was really bad. So yeah, that's just
that is so tragic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't seen that in New York. Although I'm sure it's happening. I just try to just like not look at people, but
Yeah. You have to like get that tough New Yorker like walk about you to where you like you
yeah.
just stare straight ahead. Like if
Definitely
anyone's
like,
doing anything crazy, you don't even notice.
and that's what I love about wearing my headphones is like they always give me a reason to not notice things. It's like
True.
even if I hear someone shouting, like even if I do hear it, I can just be like, "Well, I'm listening to my music." You know what I mean? And it's like it makes it easier to ignore someone because I can just pretend that I'm not hearing them even if I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, and like the thing I always do is like I'm like I am never ever going to look lost ever. Even if I am, I will not let anybody know that I'm lost, but for the most part like it's been fine. There's sometimes there's some characters on the subway, but you know, there's characters everywhere, so
That's true. And that's true. And you probably just see them more in New York cuz it's like the biggest city in the world.
right, cuz there's just so many people.
Yeah.
Um yeah. Yeah. It is crazy. It's also crazy how much I walk now.
She's building
Oh
it
my
up.
gosh, today on the subway. So I needed to go to Target. Well, there's a Target right by where I work. And then I can get on the subway and then take the subway to like right by my apartment. There's also yeah. There's also a Target. Okay, so I don't really know if I should say where I live. There's a Target that is like 20 blocks from where I live. Or no, not 20, 10. Okay, guys, I have a math degree, but I'm
Me.
not good at the mental math.
Me, don't worry.
It's 10 blocks from where I live, and really like 12. But so it's like, I don't know, 15-ish minute walk, maybe 20 minutes. And I was like thinking about going to that Target because then like my cold stuff would be like closer to home. But then I was like, but I don't want to like pay for the subway again to go one stop, and I don't want to have to walk for 20 minutes. So I was like, I'm just going to go to the Target that's right by my work, and I'll just get on the subway or whatever. So I have to get on like the 2 train, and then I have to transfer to the 1 train. And then when I got on the 1 train, I literally just have to go one stop. I don't know, this might sound confusing,
Yeah,
but like
I'm not picking up any of it.
basically, okay, I went to Target and I was supposed to get paper towels for our apartment. I forgot the paper towels, but then I was already getting on the subway and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like what am I going to do?" So I get on the subway for 2 stops, and then at that stop I have to transfer to a different train to get to my apartment. But when I got on the one, and it's just one more stop away. When I got on the one that was supposed to be one more stop away, it was like, next stop is 100 and blah, 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 which is like way further than I need to go. So I was like, what? Like, this one isn't even going, it's going past where I need to go. So I was like, well, I guess I just have to exit and walk. So now I'm right by the Target that I should have just went to in the first place, but I already been to Target and my bag was super heavy. And so then I was like, well, so then I went back into the other Target and I got Flonase because my allergies. And then I was getting paper towels. Well, there was a thing of paper towels that had 4 rolls and it said it was like $6.99 or something. And I was like, great. I go to ring it up and it's like $16. And I was like, no, 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 no. So then like I had to like, and I was doing self-checkout. So the person had to come over and like take it off my cart. So I paid for the Flonase. Then I had to go back and get a different thing of paper towels and go back into the line. And then I had to walk home for 15 minutes with like my grocery bag on one arm, like so heavy. And then like the paper towels in the other arm. Oh my gosh, it was so annoying.
I couldn't. This
It's
is why I
like-
love a car.
Yeah, it's like in general, I'm like, I don't miss a car, but when the inconveniences are
Yeah.
inconveniencing you, it's like you really wish you had a car, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you're stronger than me for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would not want a car here. A, I don't want to pay for it. And B, it's just like, I feel like I would get in a wreck.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, okay, so I have a question since you do live in New York now, and New York is like the number one city in the US.
Hmm.
Like, do you just walk around that city being like, and this is where this happened, and I know this because of this, or like just like listening to songs about New York, or like, because
Oh, so, okay. Historically, history is not my strongest subject. So,
sure.
historically, not really, but I will say, like, when I've, like, in the office, sometimes they talk about, like, New
Oh,
York and stuff, and I'm like, now when I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, oh, I get what's happening now.
obsessed
And,
with you being like The Office, a show that doesn't even take place in New York. Be like, wait.
no, but when they go to New York, then
Yes.
it makes sense. And also, like, they talk about, like, the Utica branch, and one time, which
Oh.
I don't
Mhm.
even know if this is the right place, but, like, I went to, I'm gonna sound so stupid. I don't remember if it was Brooklyn or Queens. I'm pretty sure it was Brooklyn. And I got off and it was like Utica Ave. And I was like, what?
What? Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's more like. Okay, so I'm gonna reveal something embarrassing about myself as like someone who's grown up as a dancer and like started doing theater in high school and stuff. Like, I had never been to New York until I moved here, you know? And so I like didn't understand like I was like, how are there so many shows like on Broadway? Um like because I didn't understand like what does Broadway mean? I knew that Broadway was a street,
Hmm.
but I was like, are there a million theaters? And the answer is yes. Like I just but like before I and someone had explained that to me a few years ago, but like now that I'm like here and I'm walking by and I see that there's just like all these different theaters on all these different streets, I'm like, "Oh." Like it's like it made like I understood it a little bit in my head, but it was hard to like visualize and conceptualize like what do people mean by like theater row and like stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just like it seems so obvious once you get here, but until you've been here, like it just I don't know why like that was hard for me to understand.
That's
It's
so
like I
real.
don't know.
One thing about, so I'm also was a theater kid as a child and then aged out. Thank God. No, I'm just kidding.
Ouch.
no, no, but like, so one thing about me with Broadway is I also did not understand how many theaters there were, but also I thought that a lot of these shows were not off Broadway now. Like, to me, I was like, well, of course Mamma Mia is still playing at a Broadway hall. Like, I don't understand. I guess it's not a hall, it's a theater. Um, but, like, yeah, so I just think it's, I don't know. I don't even know what Broadway looks like except for maybe like three theaters, which I know about because of TikTok, because I follow
Yeah.
people who are performers on Broadway on TikTok.
There was one there was one day that I was going to a class at Broadway Dance Center, which is one of the big studios here,
Hmm.
and right like a few doors down is where the Moulin Rouge is playing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like going to a later class, and so it was like all these people in line to get into the theater and like in their amazing outfits and everything, like waiting for the doors to open. And I was like, I really live in New York. Like
So true.
this is New York. Like
So
people waiting
true.
to see the Moulin Rouge. Like, you know,
Yeah. One thing about me that I'm gonna admit to you is I'm genuinely so insanely jealous that you get to go see Broadway musicals whenever you want. I mean, maybe not whenever you want. They're expensive and like
yeah.
you gotta find time. But like what I would do what I would do right now to just see a Broadway musical, don't even.
Yeah. Well, I've only been to two,
Yeah.
so but
Yeah.
shouts out to Anne Juliet,
Hmm.
which is a newer one, which is just so fun, especially I think if you're like a dancer, like that loves to watch fun dance. Anybody who loves to watch fun dance, like, oh, I just wanted to be up there so bad. And it's like fun, like pop, like early 2000s pop music.
Hmm.
And Kimberly Akimbo, which the leading character is actually played by a guy from Kansas City, but of course the night that I went to see it, he happened to not be on, which was sad. And I think it's closed now, but it was really, really good. But yeah, I need to go see more. My other roommate, she like gave me the rundown on like how to like go to the theaters at the like on the day of, and like get the rush tickets, and like when I went to go see Kimberly Akimbo, it was only, I think it was only $40 a ticket.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Which, like, you know, if you go see like The Lion King, it's obviously going to be more expensive, but yeah. I think the Anne Juliet ticket was like $100, which like is still a really good price. Those were bought a little bit more in advance, but yeah, I definitely want to go see more. It's just like I got bills to pay.
So true. I mean, okay, if you ever see, I think my two, like, I will cry if you ever tell me that you see these, are like Hades Town, and this is gonna sound crazy, but currently The Outsiders, I'm having the craziest hyperfixation.
Oh when Sage came to visit, we were deciding between Kimberly Akimbo, Hades Town, and The Outsiders, and I think he said Water for Elephants, and I was like,
no,
I'm so sorry, I don't want to see
that. No shade to the musical, but we just don't like the book.
Yeah, which like he just like saw that it was playing. He wasn't like dying to see it or anything, but he actually never read The Outsiders. So
I didn't either, Laura. I read it for the first time last week because of my obsession. Don't even because
you
of my
didn't read
obsession.
it in 8th grade?
No, fun fact, even though I was an English major, I did not take advanced English.
Oh.
So I didn't have to read it. But I read it last week because I was so obsessed with the soundtrack for The Outsiders, like the 3 songs they have on Spotify currently. And the book is so good. Actually, like, I get why it's a classic. It's really great, and I really think about that book every day. I've been just taking time to lament about how much I like that book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. So I really wanted to see it because like I love that book, but like Sage never read the book, so he was just like, well, it's not like my first choice or whatever. But if you need to take a trip to New York, I mean, we can go see it together.
If I set up a GoFundMe with the 5 people who listen to this podcast, will they go ahead and send money so that way I can go to New York and then also see The Outsiders on Broadway? Please.
Yeah. No, that would be so fun. So, I'm coming home for one day, which I actually just told Danielle, but we're cutting that out. We're cutting it out because I kind of gave too much info that I don't know. I don't want people tracking my flight or something, but
I just don't want your dad to be mad at you.
You're so right. Dad, I would never meant to breach any sort of security. But the point is, I can tell Danielle the details later, but I'm coming home for a day, and I'm so excited because I literally haven't seen anybody from home since January, which my mom is coming this weekend to see my show, which I'm so excited about. Sometimes you just need your mom, you know?
Yeah, oh my god, so true.
And I'm like, and she likes to walk and stuff, so I think we're gonna have a good time. And like, Central Park is really close to where I live, so we're gonna go there. And that's not identifying information because Central Park is huge, so I could be anywhere in Manhattan, you wouldn't know.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm trying to think, like, what else do we need to chit chat about? My show. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, we can.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, since we're a book podcast and we were just talking about The Outsiders, and that I read The Outsiders in between our time of finishing 6 of Crows and then starting Crooked Kingdom, which I haven't started yet, but don't worry, she's coming.
Oh, I'm on page like 170
what
something.
The heck?
But it's like, I feel like I read at a slower pace over a longer period of time, but you'll read it at a faster pace in a shorter amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then, you got to put the pedal to the metal. Like, you really have to. It's no joke. So I was just going to ask you what you've been not even just like reading, but like if you've been intaking any media that you've been wanting to talk
Oh,
about. But I guess your show is a form of media, so if
let
you
me
do want to talk about that.
think. So the thing about me is
Sure.
I'm a chronic rewatcher, so I have no new shows or movies to discuss. I really want to go see the Turtles All the Way Down movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even. Oh wait, no, no, it's streaming, isn't it?
Yes, and
Yeah, so I don't have to go see it, which I
gave
wish
you
I
the
could.
password.
Yes, 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 yes. I just haven't had time to watch
Yeah,
it yet.
it's
But
great. I think you're gonna really like it.
yeah, I've
And
I've seen basically only good things about it.
yeah, it's like a truly quality, I think, coming of age movie. So when
Yeah,
you're watching it, you're like, oh my god, like they like actually wanted to make a good film for like
yeah,
teenagers to enjoy, which is beautiful, and
good.
that's so John Green. So yeah, but we
Well, oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead,
no,
go
no, no.
ahead.
No, because if you have things to say, you should say. Because I was
Well,
gonna.
all I was gonna say is in Turtles All the Way Down,
Hmm.
doesn't the friend like write like fan fiction about the Star Wars characters?
Yeah, she does.
So I was gonna segue that into saying the only sort of new media I've watched recently, which it's not new, but I watched the Star Wars movies. Did I talk about this in the Six of Crows episode? If so, I'm sorry to repeat, but
You did bring up Star Wars, but I don't think you talked about your experience of watching the
basically, like,
movies.
the other day, I was like, I just want to watch A New Hope.
Yes.
And then I watched it, and then the next day I watched the next movie, and the next day I watched the next movie. I only watched episode, I guess it's episode 4, 5, 6. But like we were obsessed with Star Wars, like for a hot second, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then like for years and years, I was just like, okay, whatever. But just randomly, I felt like watching it. And those movies are actually so good when you're not trying to make them be anything.
You're
You know what I
so
mean? Like,
right.
if you're
Yeah.
just like, I just want to like watch a movie, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, let's watch a little space movie, you know?
Yeah. You know what? In Star Wars is so good when someone's not in your ear telling you everything you should be you should
Yeah.
be feeling or seeing. No
Yeah.
offense to the Star Wars lovers, but yeah, truly. I mean, I think I need to do a rewatch because I probably haven't watched like I probably haven't had a quality watch of all the movies since maybe high school.
Yeah. Or whenever
So
like the new ones were coming out. Yeah.
oh yeah, that was college. So like I truly didn't get into it until The Last Jedi. No, Rogue One.
Wait, this is another Okay, the people need to know.
Sure.
Before there was Barbenheimer, there was there was Laura and Danielle going to see Coco and The Last Jedi on the same day.
Yep.
We Barbenheimered before it was a thing.
Yep. That was our
And-
Barbenheimer for real.
We went to the theater in the morning and we're like, 2 tickets for Coco and 2 tickets for The Last Jedi. And the guy was like, huh?
Okay, what I love about that is like I feel like most people would just be like, okay, yeah, and then after we see Coco, we're just gonna sneak into The Last Jedi. But we were like, can we buy 2 tickets in advance?
Yeah, no. The thing about us is we're going to patronize the movie theater because
Oh yeah,
we
we're
want
letting
them
people get
staying
their money.
alive, you know?
We worship
And
our
we,
movie
like,
theater.
Packed little sandwiches and went out and had a little mouse moment in the car. And then we like ran back in.
That's so cute of us. Yeah. And it was so good. I really did think I was like around noon, I'll probably be a little tired. But I think it was the perfect balance because we had Coco. Well, first of all, we had two quality movies, two movies that we
Yeah.
enjoyed, and also two very different movies. So
Yeah.
it's like both had different things going on that kept you engaged. They're both, I think, like we reference these movies all the time. Like so it's like it was such a good trip. It was so good. And also I remember that theater, like the Coco theater, it was like 10 a.m. and it was the first showing probably that theater was showing of the day of any movie.
Yeah.
And either the sound or the movie wasn't playing, so like the screen
Oh,
was dark.
yeah.
And I remember being in a theater of like maybe like groups of like 3 or 4 other people, all like older than us for some reason at the Coco showing. And we were like, is anyone gonna do anything? And I remember us being like, okay, I guess we'll do it. So we went out there,
Yeah,
we're like,
we went up to the people because we're like, we're on a time crunch. Like, we have another movie to get to.
we were. That's so true. Otherwise, I don't think we would have said anything. But we were
Right.
like, we are here to see 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember though you walked into the theater and you said, "You're welcome."
That is so me at 19 or however, whatever
So
that
good,
was.
actually. Oh, I might cry thinking about it. It's too good.
One of the theaters I've worked with, this is just random, but about movie theaters, but one of the like musical theaters that I've worked with, like performs at a movie theater,
Mm.
and their like costume closet is like up a flight of stairs that's like, um it's like when you go up there, you're in the hallway where you can see into all the theaters, like where they're playing the movies from. Oh
Oh.
my gosh, it is like the back rooms. Like, it's so scary up there. And it's so weird, like, because you can see into all the theaters. I'm like,
Hmm.
there's really like a person up, like, when you are watching a movie, like, someone went up there and like put the movie up. I don't know exactly how it works, but because they're not streaming a movie at the theater. Like, someone has to go put the DVD in or Blu-ray or whatever it is. And oh my gosh, it's like so weird. Like, now whenever I'm like in the theater and like, you see like where the projector's coming from, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I've been up in there before. Like,
That's crazy. I've never even thought about like the hallway slash room that they would have to
yeah.
put. Ugh.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
think about
like
it being
it.
like a long hallway where it's like you can see them on either side. Oh.
Yeah, don't like that. I don't like that. I will say, so not too far from me is like a little indie theater that I like to go to, and we have like a projectionist that like, comes out at the beginning of every film. And they're like, "Hey, I'm Joe. I'm your projectionist today."
Oh.
And yeah, and they like tell us about the movie, and like do a little joke, and then they just go back into the back room and they just like start the movie up, and at the end they go, "Hope you guys enjoyed."
Literally the back room.
Yeah, genuinely. Yeah, but it's so cute though. I'm like, and I do want to know about this man who
Yeah.
who just is in charge of making sure my movie plays. Thank
That's so
you.
interesting. That's a cool job.
Yeah, I know. I know. Sometimes when I was in college, I was like, I wonder how much they pay because I would truly love it. But I think you have
Yeah.
to have like some knowledge at least in
Yeah. There
how to
might
work
be
that.
like special, like, you gotta handle it the right way or something. I don't
Yeah, like
know.
just at least cameras and wait, what's that? Projectors. It's like what are those called?
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
We have a projector at work. Like, we have TVs. Um, but then we also have a projector, which sometimes if like companies want to host a business thing, they could like, I don't know, project something. But we usually just like play the basketball game up there.
Mm.
Well, it didn't look like as clear and in focus as like the TVs, but I'm like, obviously, right? Like, when does a projector, unless you're like at the movies where it's like meant to be crystal HD high tech vision or whatever.
Hmm.
Like, I'm thinking about like at school when we had projectors at school, like it was never as crisp as if you were like watching a TV. And like my manager was like, I don't understand like why it's not like, I'm like, I think that's just how it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he
True.
thought it should be like high definition. I'm like, I don't think
This is
we're
a
like,
$35 projector,
yeah,
sir.
like I
Like
don't
you're
think we're like at the
getting.
movie theater.
No.
Like,
No, that's funny.
yeah, haven't been to the movie theater in so long.
Yeah. New York makes it
Sad.
hard.
Yeah,
Upsetting. So you haven't seen or I mean, I guess so Star Wars has been your was your media of choice, which is
yeah.
great. I do need
Which
to rewatch.
I watched. The most recent new movie that I've watched was The Holdovers, which we
Ooh.
kind of talked about.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yes, that's a fun one to put on if you well, that was a really great one to put on during the winter. Because
Oh
that
yeah,
was a
yeah,
great Christmas movie. I do love when people aren't ashamed to make a movie that they're like, and this is gonna be rewatched at Christmas. Like that's
yeah,
its sole purpose. Yeah, that's such a good film, and like I feel like it sparked something in me as far as Paul Giamatti goes. Like I was obsessed with Paul Giamatti for like a good month after I watched that, and I was like listening to so many interviews he did.
Is that the actor?
Yeah. So have you ever
Like
seen
the
Big?
main teen?
No. That's I don't. Oh, Dominic
Oh,
Sisa or something. But
like the teacher?
yes, Paul Giamatti. Do you know Paul
Oh,
Giamatti?
I mean, I recognized him, but I'm not as good with like
Right.
knowing
So
the
I
names.
feel like he's almost like a meme of sorts amongst our generation. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Maybe in the way like Shrek is, but minorly. Because like I just
Oh.
think about Paul Giamatti. Maybe Shrek wasn't the right example. I just think about like Paul Giamatti in Big Fat Liar. Did you ever watch that film? It's with
No.
Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes.
Like, I know what you're talking about when he's blue.
Yes, that's him. Yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. So that's like a very like important, I think, touchstone for our generation. Yeah.
I just said sorry for that sniffle to the audience.
Oh, I didn't hear
Sorry.
it. So there you go. Yeah. Well, now I feel silly, but I did have a Paul Giamatti phase after the holdovers. Really great.
No, that's so interesting. I now that you say that, like, I totally can imagine
see
him.
him.
But
Yeah.
like when I watched it, I knew that I recognized him, but I don't think I could have come up with that
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah. One
He
thing I like
kind
about.
of.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
Nope, you're talking about Paul Giamatti, so keep going.
I was just gonna say that character. He kind of reminded me of my favorite math professor.
Oh my god.
Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I was gonna say so the movie takes place in Boston. And so I remember when I
Oh.
watched it, I was like, not all my spots. Like I was feeling so like sentimental. Like I was like crying by the
Really?
end of the movie just because I was like so like I was like, I'm there.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I didn't even
know.
realize that.
I know. So I love that movie, but I remember when we left the theater because I went with my mom and my sister. I paid for all of our tickets. You guys are welcome. No, I'm just kidding. But I paid, and then I remember my little sister Alyssa went with us, and she slept through the whole movie. And I kept like
Alyssa.
punching her. I was like, wake up! I'm like, I paid
That's so
$20
funny.
for you to sleep through this movie. And then my mom, when we left, she was like, that was an interesting movie. She's like, what a weird film. I was like, what? It's just about
Meanwhile,
a
you're like
kid.
having
Yeah.
internal personal revelations.
I mean,
and, like,
you've been to the movies with me. I exit every theater like my life
Crying.
has been changed. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a
What's the
good one.
last movie we saw together? Was it
Don't
The
even.
Fablemans, or have we seen something since then? How long ago was The Fablemans? That was like
Fablemans was winter 2022.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, so that we've probably seen something since then.
Have we been to the drive-in?
Uh,
Oh my
I
god,
don't
wait.
think
This
so.
is
Wait.
this is upsetting. Because if Teen Beach Movie is a part of our lore, then like just going to the movies all the time and being obsessed with going to the movies is
Yeah.
also a part of our lore.
Yeah, especially the drive-in.
So
Because we didn't see the Barbie movie together. I'm trying to think of everything I saw last year. Five Nights at Freddy's.
oh my god, I don't even actually loved that movie. I had
I
a blast
had
at that
such a
movie.
good time. Sage and I went to see it.
Mhm.
Do you know the TikTok? I don't know if you would call it a meme, but of like the guy in the Burger King outfit, like he's like he works
What?
at Burger King.
Wait, maybe
And
I
he's
do.
like doing this. You know what I'm talking about?
like the animatronic kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
okay, yes.
He's in the bathroom at Burger King with his work shirt on, and he like starts to like do the little dance, and then like someone opens the door and it turns off like lightning speed, and then like he comes back and he does another one, and he's like this time he like locked the door, and I don't know, it's just so funny to me. It's like big in the Five Nights at Freddy's like
With
fandom, which like I don't even think I'm a part of that, but like after we saw that movie, like I could not stop like
animatronic.
yeah. So join the animatronic family, and like I kept doing like the Sage is gonna be so mad watching this because he was so annoyed with me, and like I feel like he rarely like actually gets annoyed with me, but I think I was like actually annoyed.
He was like, "You're making us both sick to death with this bit
Yes,
that you're
but
doing."
to me it was so funny.
No, I would have been dying. I would have been dying. I think
Yeah.
so. Do you remember when we had that whole thing about Five Nights at Freddy's, where you stayed you stayed over.
And I was trying to figure out the lore.
yes, you stayed over at my house, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. We were like, so what is Five Nights at Freddy's?
Right.
And we were convinced it had to be based off of a different story.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh, there's like an origin story, and they made a TV show or not TV show, a video game off of the origin story. And then so we were like texting Sage. We were like, what is the lore to Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's? I still don't know. I think it's actually just original.
No, it's literally just the video game, like,
Yeah.
because me and this girl at work, we were also trying to figure it out because I was like looking it up, and there's like this movie poster that looks so legit of like a 90s movie, like a
Mm-hmm.
cartoon type thing, where like all the characters look like happy normal characters, and I was like, "Oh." And it was like, "This is a movie, blah blah blah." It had a whole Wikipedia page, but it's like fan made art. It's like uh I can't think of the word. But it's like not real. Someone just made it up as if it was like as if the video game was based on that. But yeah, no, it's just like
That's crazy.
the video game is the first thing.
That's great. I think it's just because it definitely took inspiration from like Chuck E. Cheese or like any of those types of
Right.
entertainment places
Yeah.
that it just feels so real. And I'm like, there's like, ugh.
Kelly
What?
told me, my little sister, shouts out to Kelly.
Hey.
Um so for the listeners out there, we are also big Gravity Falls stans.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And there's an episode where like it's called like Zeus has his girlfriend Giffany, and there's like and it's like the animatronics come to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was texting Kelly about it because I was like, it feels like this Gravity Falls episode like drew inspiration from Five Nights at Freddy's because it's a very similar concept. And I'm pretty sure could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Kelly found out that like those things actually came out like around the same time, and it's like they were two individual ideas,
Oh.
and like that episode isn't based on like the video game. It's just like they just happened to come up with that idea too or whatever. I don't know, I just thought it was so crazy, like it, because it just seems like so blatantly like, oh, this is based off of that, and not
Yeah.
in a bad way. But I guess it's not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
If I'm
always-
remembering correctly. I think I
Yeah.
am, but
Yeah.
nobody
I remember
like get mad at me if I'm wrong.
I just did a rewatch of Gravity Falls, I think, a few months ago, and when that episode came on, I was trying to play Breath of the Wild for the first time.
Oh,
And
slay.
reader, I still haven't gotten the hang of Breath of the Wild. It's still confusing to me. But I remember it was just like I was just like kind of in a corner, like poking my head up every like 5 minutes to see what was going on. And that episode's so scary, actually. I feel like Gravity Falls. A lot of those episodes were kind of freaky.
Yeah. Literally.
Especially the second we get into the like weird Mageddon. For those who know, you know, like the main villain dude, his name is Bill Cipher.
We could literally do a whole episode just
About
on
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Oh my God, Laura, we should. This is me
Okay.
saying, yeah.
Noted.
Yeah. Noted. We should. But yeah, I love Bill Cipher. I think he's actually the best villain in the world. Yeah. So anyway,
Okay. Slay.
that's my take on Gravity Falls. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Did you have any other new media or books or movies or whatever that you wanted to
Well,
share?
okay. As you've seen from my from my Twitter, everybody and especially me has been in a very big challengers phase.
Oh yeah, I
And
still need to
so-
see it.
Yeah, I won't give anything away. I'll just talk about my love for it. But I saw it opening weekend, and like me and my roommate Haley have been like hyping up this movie for like so long because we're such big fans of like obviously everybody loves Zendaya, but there's a guy on the cast called Mike Feist. I think that's how you say his last name. I'm so sorry to the Broadway community. But basically, he was a newsie. That's why I say that. But anyway,
Oh,
so
slay.
basically, and he was Connor Murphy in Dear Evan Hansen, the OG.
Oh.
So if you listen
Oh.
to the soundtrack, that's him. But anyway, sorry, too much.
That's a stacked IMDb.
Yeah, I know. I think he's halfway to like an EGOT right now. So like he's cooking. But yeah, so we have like this crazy obsession with him, and so we've been waiting for this movie for like ever. And my expectations were so high. I was like, there's no way this movie is going to meet my expectations.
Uh-huh.
And it literally did. It's so good.
Oh, that's amazing.
I just think it's like, I don't know. It was like one of those movies where I walked out of the theater and I was like, first of all, 5 stars. Second of all, my life's been changed. Which, as we've already discussed, that's been every movie I've ever seen in the movie theater. But like, I could not stop thinking about this movie. I still can't, actually. I want to go see it again. But genuinely, if you've seen Challengers and you're listening to this, you know how real the hype is. So yeah, I think you'd like it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It really had me on the edge of my seat. I'm not even
Well,
kidding you. It
yeah, and
really
it's just
was.
like I love Zendaya, so
She's great.
yeah.
She's great. She acts her butt off. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And tennis is so fun. I love tennis. Like
Okay.
I walked out, I said, "Okay, tennis time." I'm gonna
I
get a
saw someone
racket.
I saw someone tweet that said, "I'm convinced that like big tennis was behind Challengers because pickleball was getting too big and they had to like
Had to knock her down a notch.
they wanted to bring tennis back to the forefront or something."
That's so true. There's a product placement in that movie of a Dunkin' sandwich, a Dunkin' Donut sandwich. And as you know, I'm like, my job I think on this earth is to advocate for Dunkin', like just like being like, it's bad, I know, I love it, I can't get enough of Dunkin'.
Yeah.
And like when I saw that, I was like, and this movie was made for me, 5 stars. I was like, perfect, thank you. No notes.
Yeah. That
But
is
yeah.
so funny.
So yeah,
It's
so
on my
that
list.
that was that's my, I think that's probably my number one recommendation if anyone's like, what are you watching or reading or doing or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Challengers. So
Okay,
there you
well,
go.
my number one recommendation, which I
Ooh.
won't go super into because we probably gotta wrap it up
Oh,
soon, but I just read a book, I don't know, like a few weeks ago, a month ago, called Star Splitter. I've told you about it, but I already returned it to the library, so I don't remember the author off the top of my head, but it's newer. It's called Star Splitter, and it's kind of like a sci-fi type book. It's like set I think in the year like 2100 something, and it's so good. Like it's so good. Even if you're not super into sci-fi, it's very it makes you reflect on like your morals a lot, and like about like the autonomy of like a person, and like what does that mean. Oh my gosh, it's so good. That's my big recommendation if anyone's looking for a book. And maybe at another time, if we're like just chit-chatting about other books beyond our book club, I can say more about it, but it's so good. So
Yeah.
if you need a movie, watch Challengers. If you need a book, read Star Splitter.
Yeah,
Or Six of Crows.
Or Six of Crows, because that is our book club choice. Yeah. Oh, before we leave, we should probably also talk about maybe like the format a bit. Oh wait, no, we've already talked about that.
Yeah,
I just
kind of at
mean-
the beginning.
I just mean like, so for the very first Wednesday of
Oh,
every
right.
month is what we're planning on having our we want to have our book clubs on the first Wednesday of each month. So that gives you like a full month to read a book, and then we'll talk about it. And then that's why we have our little discussions here where it's like, this is just our check-in to make sure people are reading if they if they want to be reading. And yeah, we probably won't be talking about like the books we're reading too much in this, just for the sake of the audience. But
This is more like our normal, like, in place of voice memoing for half an hour.
Yeah.
We'll just say
we just want to talk.
This is
truly.
just us talking, and if people like to listen, well, then so be it.
Exactly. We'll be releasing our Six of Crows episode, which we've already filmed and edited. We just need to post it on the first Wednesday of June, and I think we're gonna do one of those rare double features, right? Where we also drop our Six of Crows no, not Six of Crows, Crooked
Kingdom. Yeah.
episode the same day. So there you go. If you guys have already read those books, which I'm sure plenty of people have because it's huge, that'll be a nice little treat for anybody who's just like, I don't want to reread it, I just want to listen to both of these podcasts. There you go.
Yeah. And if anyone just feels so inclined on those, I don't really know. I don't know if you can like comment on podcasts, but like definitely on YouTube. Like, if anyone wants to chit chat about the book, like we'll reply to comments or whatever. Like, it's a book club for us, but also for everybody else that wants to be part of it. So
we truly just love talking about our favorite things.
Yeah.
Six of Crows is one of our favorite things, and so it's
Yes.
like to talk about with other people would be super fun.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to Read the Last Page. Once again, the music and illustrations that we have were created by the wonderful Sage Morgan, or Sage Timothy, as I think he wants his name to be credited as.
Yes.
Sage Timothy, love you.
Yes, thank you, Sage. We love you. Yeah, so we'll see you in 2 weeks for our Six of Crows discussion. So get to reading if you want to follow along. Specifically, read through to the very last page, as the podcast asks you to do.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom if you want the full experience.
So true. So true.
But yeah, for now we want to say bye from B
And Dan.
Bye.
Bye.